excited to be here. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm Tara, this is Eugenia, and we are your hosts for the 17th Muni Diaries Live. That's 17 shows in 8 years of live storytelling right here in the Mission.
So I did a little math before I came here tonight. Over the last couple of years, over 4,000 people have told us their stories on Muni. I think that's pretty amazing. And you know, we started this project as a way to talk about what happened on public transit, but really I think what we're all doing here is we're saying this is what it's like to live in San Francisco through this experience that we all share, so we can't do this without you. Please welcome Irene too.
Actually got an email from Eugenia and Tara that were like, hey, do you want to do the Muni Diaries? And I was like, all right. So that's how I actually didn't know that it was a thing. Even though it's like very popular, the show sold out, and I think they always sell out, but I didn't know. I was gonna do a different story, and then we kind of had a rehearsal where like we all told our practice stories, and everyone's story was so good. And then I remembered, because it was like Muni Diaries, I was like, oh, I remembered that I was on the bus. Somehow I forgot, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll just tell the story how I like, you know, chased down my bus.
And then Brandon's like, all right, I'm the closest, I'm almost there. Can you stall? And I was like, okay. So then I go up to the bus driver who's outside. I'm like, hey, so I'm on the outside of this bus, and I'm trying to get my friend to take a photo of me on the bus. I'm wearing the same outfit, as you can tell. Can you just like wait at this stop like extra long so I can get this photo? And he's like, sure? Like, he does not get paid enough money to care about that. Whatever, weirdo.
I'd love to come back and just be a spectator and just watch the whole show. It definitely, like, I think you can really appreciate the show if you've lived here for a little bit, because you're like, oh, that's totally happened to me on BART or on Muni, on public transportation. And it kind of brings a sense of community, because a lot of times you don't, like, talk to random strangers, you don't get to hear stories from people, but it really kind of connects everyone together.
Kind of always known about the show. It's really popular. When I first started doing storytelling, I was told it was one of the top storytelling shows, so that was one of my goals. I was like, all right, I want to do the Moth. I want to do body storytelling, which is probably one of the biggest storytelling shows in the West. The Moth, Porchlight I haven't done yet, and Muni Diaries was one of the shows I wanted to do. So it was always in the back of my mind, and when they asked me to be on it, I was super happy. So I was like, look, we gotta get on the 5. It's a short bus. We will take the 5 from downtown. I promise you, nothing will happen. And so we get on the 5 towards Golden Gate Park. It's very packed, but these 2 tourists get out in the back, so we go to the back, and she is literally clutching her little tourist backpack to her breast, like hoping she's just like, no one is gonna rape me. She's just like, no, no, no. And I'm like trying to get her to calm down, and she sits down and I sit down, and then 2 men get on the bus. They're very tall, very scary looking, and they let us know, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to fuck some shit up. We got guns, so you motherfuckers better get all your fucking shit, because we're gonna take it. You know, I feel like there's a thing with cities that something happens that like brings everybody together. I don't know what, because I don't live in other cities, but I hear that exists. So, like if you're in Seattle, oh, the rain, oh, like that's all the people talk about. In LA, all my friends from LA, they're like, oh, everybody has a car, nobody walks. But here, like, you know, there's those things that happen when you become a real San Franciscan, and everybody has different standards of what that is. But I feel like it's when you have your first good and bad Muni experience that makes you a San Franciscan. You know, San Francisco born and raised people would punch me in the face for saying that, because I'm sure they have other standards. But I feel like they had a great idea. They were like, what does everybody complain or love about the city? It's frickin' Muni.
Eugenia and I are friends because we're event producers, and for the longest time she's been trying to get me to tell a story, and I went, I don't have any stories about public transit. And then I ran into her about 6 months ago, and I went, I just remembered one.
And walk up to the barista. I order a mocha. And I take it back to my table and I think about what just happened. I feel like I just rode a roller coaster. I feel like I just jumped off a cliff. And so after a few minutes, I get up, I go back to my house, pick up my phone the minute I walk through the door, and I call Jean. And I say, I don't know if you were on my commute today, but that was fucking awesome. And I don't ever want to meet you now. Let's just keep doing that. That was really fun. Give me a call when you get it.
They had the best rehearsals. Their rehearsals, like, really polished. They work with a story conductor, and they work with everybody to polish the stories. It's curated. They're like a class. You know, Muni's like the butt of a joke. We always bitch about what it's not, but this city really has one of the best transit systems in the world. Like, I lived in the rural South. I can tell you, we have a really good transit system here. And, you know, sometimes you just get on it and you want to go all the way to the end of the line and people watch. It's such a great place to people watch. You know, if you get in a lift, it's just everybody sits and faces forward and they don't interact with each other. You get on Muni and people start talking to each other and you have this common experience with people who are probably your neighbors and you don't know it yet. You walk in the same direction and you find out, oh, you live 4 houses down from me? That's cool. You make friends. You can't do that when you ride separately in vehicles. Like, public transit does that.
My favorite part is seeing out the elbow room just like jam-packed with people who really want to hear stories. They love Muni in San Francisco, and I think the thing that we do seems so niche and weird, and everyone is here and they're, you know, just happy to be here. So that's really exciting.
And just related to that, I just love seeing people light up. Like, I'll look out into the crowd sometimes when I dare to stare into the audience while I'm, you know, nervously taking notes back here. But I love just seeing how happy everybody is. And, you know, you wouldn't think, like, oh, it's an event about riding transit, and sometimes gross stuff happens on there, but everybody in the audience always looks so happy, and I really dig that.
They're really rooting for one another, and that's a really special thing for us. So I feel like it's really a chance to like see this in real life, face to face, and say, hey, we share something in common. We can cheer for the 14. And,
Yeah.
you know, like, who would know? Like, saying you're lying, everyone is like erupting into applause.
Yeah.
So seeing that in real life, I think it means a lot.
Because it does bring people together. I firmly believe that.